Good night, everybody. Welcome to the Real Talk Show. I've seen a couple people joining. I encourage you guys to share this stream. My name is Kyle Joseph, by the way, and we have Mark and Eva. Anyhow, so you're good.
Hey, good night.
Great.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going good, man. Happy to be here.
The fourth musketeer couldn't be here tonight. She couldn't be here tonight. But yes, but we had to do what we had to do, and
Yeah.
we have three couples coming on the show tonight, right? So I encourage you guys to share the stream. It's going to be interesting because we're going to hear their perspective about even in their own personal marriage when it came to choosing each other and where's the thing that maybe stand out. But Eva, you maybe want to kick off the show?
Yes. Good night, guys. Good night, Facebook. Good night, YouTube. I saw some people already tuned in. I saw Crystal, Ayana, I believe. I didn't catch all the names, but good night to all of you. I really happy to see that you're all on here from the beginning with us. Of course,
Yeah.
you'll know, well, I think the persons that here already, you'll know what this show is about. Is real talk. We literally is real talk. We honest. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you're thinking. Maybe you have a question about whatever we're talking about tonight, and we want to hear what that question is, right? So tonight we are talking about basically how you know that that person is the one. And even if is that even really a thing? Like, is there somebody that is like the one for you? Like, is there somebody that's really like your soulmate? So that's what we're talking about, right? So let me read off of the page. How to know when you found the one. And it's not, I know it's not new. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Join us today right here on Real Talk Show as we have special guests, right? So as Kyle mentioned, we have three couples tonight coming on. And for everybody, as you all know, it's always different stories are different. So you might ask somebody the same thing, but their perspective, the way things happen for them is always different, right? And that's what we're talking about tonight. We want to hear from you all. Maybe you want to share somebody who's viewing how you met the person that you with. And you all can actually start telling us one time, right? Let us hear how you know that your person was the one for you, right? If you're married, maybe even in a relationship, maybe engaged, all right? So even for persons who not engaged or married, I would say that this is a great show for you as well because I mean you kind of get some insight. You might see what some green flags with some red flags. So we don't know where it's gonna go, all right? So guys, make sure and begin to share. We now come on the show now starting. Things now gonna get exciting, I'm sure. We're
True.
gonna get a lot of insight because it's one, two, three couples and all. Yeah. So begin to share. We want you all to comment as well. And remember, once you comment, you can win a giveaway, right? So this is like as good as your Saturday night guess. You're being entertained and you're winning something, all right? So once you comment, you can qualify to win one of our giveaways, which are Amazon vouchers tonight, all right? So all you have to do is comment. Maybe you can tell me where you're viewing from, anything. Maybe you have a question, whatever the case is, just message us and you can qualify to win one of our giveaways, all right? So we're gonna go to Kyle now.
Hey, well, you're nearly going to me because I mean, you all are next married couple on the show. You forget us or what?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
They forget they're married, yes. But yeah, tonight maybe there are a couple of people listening. I encourage you guys if it is. I know Anyala. I was trying to invite Anyala, but I wanted the couples to be involved in it, right? But so her husband is
Yeah.
working tonight, so she couldn't make it tonight with us. But I would like to hear maybe even Anyala, maybe her side of it. So obviously, when we speak of the one, like I mean, I don't know how much girlfriends you ever had, Mark, in your life, or how much people you ever.
Um, I would say one, but I just wonder if it really was a relationship, to be
You
honest.
mean two? You mean two because you had a count Eva as one.
Well, I never asked her to be my girlfriend, only my wife. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, right? Yeah, but that's an interesting thing, Mark. So you never really ask her to be a girlfriend. So
Nah, I
let's
don't know. Yeah.
eh?
I don't know what went on there.
Eva, allow that to live. Anyhow, we want to
Yeah.
Anyhow, we want you guys to interact with the stream. It have 20 people watching. We want you guys to actually interact with it. There's only 20 people watching right now. We now start the show, but only 6 people like it. I encourage you guys to do something with it because it has helped build the stream. So we want you guys to interact with the stream somehow. I done seen people say they want voucher. People done saying they want certain things already. Eva, I see Krista didn't say I'm sorry, Eniala say I felt the peace of the God's peace through the relationship. So she said she felt a sense of peace when she was with this particular person, which is Anthony Sturge, right? Now we know both of them, and it's interesting. I would have loved to hear one story. I would have loved to hear is maybe Danielle and Ravini, but they couldn't be here. Like how they knew. Let me get married, because some of you all know Danielle and Ravini. If you all didn't know, they got married in a short space of time, right? So it was. I would have liked to hear what really make that decision. But tonight we have different people coming on to share that. But maybe I ask you, Ava, what make you think that this boy, you're gonna marry this man? What make you feel that I watch my gonna marry? Out of all the guys who was tracking here and different things, what make you say, hey, Mark, I'm gonna marry this one, boy?
Well, I don't know that. Mark was the one. Well, firstly, I personally don't necessarily believe that everybody have like a soulmate. That's just my personal view, guys. If you believe that, that's your thing. But I personally don't believe that. So I wouldn't say that I was walking around and I saw Mark and I was like, oh, that's the one. I'm gonna marry him. We're gonna spend the rest of our lives happily ever after, right? It wasn't like that for me. I would say literally in getting to know the person, seeing the qualities in my, well, I'm not saying the person because we literally talking about me here. So seeing Mark's qualities, getting to know him, and the way I felt in the I could even say from the friendship, because we became friends before I can't even say what because we I guess it just became understood, right, guys? Yeah. So let's just play that up one time, but just became understood is really actually Mark never asked me to be a girlfriend or anything like that. It's just yeah. We just understood that we were committed, right? So even in the phase before that, I would say that the way Mark made me feel about myself and about even especially my relationship with God, I think he brought something. You can say, because we literally what we're doing here is comparing Mark to every other fella that I probably would have interacted with, right?
Not necessarily that, but also too, like, I mean, you're gonna marry somebody for the rest of your life. So
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Why I choose this specific person, and I would say is literally just everything about him that I knew, that I grew to know about him, and the way I felt comfortable. I still feel comfortable being with Mark, and for me, trust is a major thing. And the fact that all these different qualities that I personally would have been looking for, I found it in this person. And I felt similarly to what Eniala said, I felt like at peace, and I did never feel like, I wonder, boy, sometimes you're in a relationship and you're feeling uneasy, like, would this person really be a blessing to my life? Of course, you want to point to the person's life as well, but at that stage, you kind of scoping out the person to see, is this really the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with? And I reached a stage where I would look at Mark and I would say to myself, I would rather spend the rest of my life with Mark than with anybody else, basically, if that makes sense, if that makes sense to you. So at that stage, I would say that, yeah, I know that this is the person. And of course, I guess it's on a few minutes understood, but also in talking to God about our relationship and being with Mark and seeing him in ministry, all these things, like literally all the qualities, just it drew me to that place where I felt comfortable and I felt strong in the decision that I was making. I guess when he asked me to get married and I said yes. Like there was no hesitance, there was no doubt, that type of thing. Yeah.
Even I was there for that night. Proud to say.
Yeah.
Guys, just a little side note to over 30 something people watching. Only 9 people like the stream. I encourage you guys to interact with it. We're trying to build this stream, and you're gonna hear amazing stories, and hopefully it'll bless your life. One of the common things you would realize, Mark, and people getting married, even as Christians, you realize the divorce rate high. The divorce rate is real high, and a lot of things people would ask. Sometimes people they meet, and most of those people who actually married many times they would say all these things that Ava say about the person. They felt love, they felt this peace, they felt all these different things. But then the marriage don't work out. You know, and many times, sometimes you hear another side of the story, you hear somebody, they say, God was telling me not to marry this person. And what, sometimes the story just flip. But before the story wasn't like that at all, right? Before, all of a sudden, God is talking and tell them that, you know, this wasn't the person, right? So maybe for you, Mark, what would you say were 5 signs that you were looking for? And they say, hey, Ava, are willing to, because like we got to be a part of marriage, you got to be a little practical. It's a decision you're going to make for the rest of your life. And especially you guys were much younger, so you all, you know. So what were 5 maybe things you'd say that, hey, I could choose this girl to really be my wife, boy, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, one of the things that drew me to Ava is I find she was a beautiful girl. I'm being honest. She was beautiful. When I first saw her, very quickly, I felt the first time I saw her, I felt like there was something different about her, special. Yeah. And that was just between me and God kind of thing. Right? So
right.
Well, yeah. Also getting to know her, I would say based on her personality, and I know myself, I was not the type of person that into parties, that into certain things of the world. And I realized that she had similar interests as me in terms of wanting to be a part of a church and support me in terms of serving God. And even with her serving God, that was a big thing for me. Like, one of my biggest fears would have been my life clashing with my wife's life. And it's actually pulling us away from what I feel God calling me to do, and also what she wanted to do. And her wanting to be in the Lord and serve God was a big thing that attracted me to her. That was number 2. Number 3 was she had certain things in her personality that was different to me. She a bit more outgoing. She a more bold. She a little more responsible, a little more mature. She had certain things that I didn't have in myself that I wish I had. And I feel she could help me in these areas, you know, and she has been a big help in different areas. I would say that I grew as a person. I came when we started our friendship, and concerning that worked for us, but that might be the same situation for somebody. Don't go after you when you want somebody together, you know, you let the Lord lead you. If you want to make sure you're clear on what is the intentions of a relationship, you go ahead and do that. Yeah, I'm not saying.
Put that disclaimer one time only.
Yeah. But what I was saying, what train of thought?
Well, it started by saying not perfect. That's you.
You say even in a relationship before that, something dealing with like how I guess she helped you or some kind of thing like that.
We were friends.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, from the friendship. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm a little nervous. If I would have seen my issues, I had issues coming into the relationship. I had certain things I would worry plenty. I was clingy. I had issues. And I realized that even though I was annoying her at times and getting her angry, she stick it out. You know, she bear with me. And that was something I say, you know what, I don't feel a woman might not necessarily fall for these things. I say, this girl, I feel she love me, man.
I have a question I want to ask you, but that's not public information. So what I'll do is I'll WhatsApp you the question, and if you want to answer it, you answer it. Yeah. So deal with something before you used to tell me when it comes to a relationship that maybe Eva had a problem with. Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know why you that.
I think you might know what I talk about then, Mark.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Eva is somebody that I believe she has ambition. She has I saw it in her life. I saw how she would handle finances and even how she would handle her business. And I believe if we married, she would be able to help me as a husband to take care of myself, of my finances, of organize myself, organize my life. And also the major thing that attracted me to Ava, honestly, was that she loves God. I saw it talking to her in conversations. I believe somebody can't truly love you unless they have a relationship with love itself, because we always want to fall short, me and Ava. But the thing that really sustains us and completes us is Christ. Because if Ava was dependent on me to make she happy all the time, we gonna have issues. And if I was dependent on her to make me feel complete and thing all the time, we gonna be lacking. So what the big thing that we had going for us is both of us came from a foundation of Christ. And I believe
Right.
that is one of the things that really help us to be grounded in the relationship.
Nice. So we are our first guest. So I'm gonna throw them on and then we will go to the comment section, right? So guys, I wanna make way for Mandy and Javon. I just like giving them a heads up because we're gonna throw them on screen, right? So I want them
Yeah.
to make sure they're ready. And I want Eva Javon to go on with a grumpy face there. So are they ready? Here we go. Boom.
Hey,
Hello. Hey. Oh, they're good. They're good.
good.
We're good.
Nice.
Nice. Where's Smalley? Where is the baby?
Right next to us.
Oh, okay. They're watching her. Yeah, so tonight we want to thank you for coming on the stream. And tonight we're just trying to figure out, a lot of people want to get married. They're looking to meet somebody, a spouse, right? Now, sometimes people make it a lot of, like Mark and Eva saying some simple things there. But then sometimes people just make a long list and make marriage maybe real complicated. And then vice versa, some people, because there's some things that are really meaningful to everybody, right? So maybe I would hear maybe first both of your sides, right? What make you, Mandy, say, watch me, I'm gonna marry this man and I'm gonna have children with this man, and what make you feel like you can make that choice with him?
Well, for me, well, I don't know if anybody knew, but Javon and I went to school together, secondary school. So we know each other for a while, basically. So getting to
Okay.
know Javon, and I realized that we had a lot of things in common. That was like a main thing for me, having something in common. Yeah, so having a lot of things in common and wanting certain things. Whereas Javon and I, we would talk a lot about the future and, talk about family, how it is we would raise our kids and what it is we want in the future. Those were the type of conversations that we would have had. And I just realized, like that is what I want, that I want someone like that in my life. And well, what more or less solidified that he was the one for me is I wasn't saved before I met Javon. And
Right.
through Javon, I got to know Christ. And yeah, so when it is I was saved, being saved and praying and talking to God, just solidified that Javon was the one that I wanted to get married to. So those
Right.
are like the two main reasons right there was God and just having certain things in common with him.
Now Javon, she sell you out on your stream, right? So my question gonna be a little bit to you, right? Like how you met her, like you don't know how you choose her, but also she, some believers listening right now, they say, but wait now, this man did like an unbeliever at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe you can answer that. How that work out for you? Maybe you can answer that.
I mean, to be honest, it was a bit tough. And then in the early stages of our relation, well, when we met each other, my relationship with Christ back then was different than now. Like
Yeah.
later on into the relationship, I got a lot more serious with Christ and all of these things. But yeah, it was something that was in my mind. It was something I was praying about. The fact that she doesn't know Christ as yet. In the earlier stages, I think I took the wrong approach in terms of me introducing Christ to her. I would admit that it was a bit forceful at times. And, after a while I realized that, it has that kind of turned her off and all of these things. But when I get to realize that it was a bit of a selfish approach, because it come like me trying to introduce her to Christ so that I could be with her. So when I realized that, that is not the right approach, and I started looking at it from a place of love, I started to desire for her to be for her to be saved, to get to know Christ, whether or not we would have been in a relationship moving forward, if we were going to get married or not, it wasn't a factor. Our relationship, for me, they introduced her to Christ. So I started to do that from a place of love. And from that point is when it really take like a major turn. She wasn't like rebellious to certain things, I would say. She started coming to me and telling me, well, she wants to go to church, she wants to do this, she wants to do that. And, so yeah.
Okay, that is awesome to hear. I guess also too, you guys were young. How were you? What form you were in when you started date, if you want to call that, or get to know each other?
No, well, we actually started dating after we left secondary school. So when we were like 19. No.
I'm not interested in
So what you was doing all the time in school then?
Sorry, Mark, what was that?
I was wondering what they were doing all the time in school.
Oh, I won't tell our Javon secrets, right? We went to school together, we more or less had the same friends, so I won't tell them out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Javon was living the life, But anyhow, that's awesome to hear that you guys made I guess certain decisions. But what about her? You didn't tell me like what make you choose her, Javon? Like what make you say because that's a serious, especially as young. And at a young age, maybe a woman quicker, maybe, but a man, he's saying, look at how much women are out there, look at the options. Why you not settle down at this young age for? What make you do that?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, the qualities that I would have seen in her, okay, well, I think some of the qualities I was looking for in a young lady came from me admiring the relationship from my parents and how my mom would treat my dad and how she would just be as a wife and as a mother to us, and even that God-fearing woman and all too. So I kind of like, I love those qualities, and I say, you know what, I think I want a wife like that. Might probably call me a mama's boy, but no. So yeah, some of those qualities I saw and I saw it in her, and I was like, yeah, she could really be, the one that I want to spend the rest of my life with. And what even confirmed it was, after she gave her life to Christ, it made me felt a lot more at peace. And, so she just met some of the qualities and things that I was looking for in a young lady. And, that will really confirm for me that she is the one that I want to be with.
No, man, you had to be eternally grateful for your wife. I will have to be I had to be eternally grateful for Eva's sister. She's the person who introduced me to Champion and that kind of way. Yeah. And Mandy got winner by Mark boy. She let me know. So for what I mean is forever, Javon will have a special place because forever he'll be rewarded just for
always. Yes.
You can't go alone for that, yes.
Well, what is that? Any question you want to ask them, Mark, before we move on to the comments?
I just want to ask if the dynamics of the relationship changed when Mandy was an unbeliever and when she became a believer, if certain dynamics of the relationship would have changed.
Yeah, definitely. Because, well, her as an unbeliever, there was a lot of different beliefs and so on that she had. And it caused a lot of a conflict in those stages. It was kind of up and down, certain things that she wouldn't understand as a believer in Christ at that time. Even though I understood, it was kind of hard for me to explain certain things from that point of view and whatnot. So, yeah, we had a lot of misunderstandings at that stage. And yeah, like our relationship was really rocky in that first era of the relationship. We had a couple of times we broke up and came back together and this and that. So, after her giving her life to Christ and getting to know Christ, and we started like she would read a Bible, and she realized that, you know, all the things that I used to have in my head for in the past, you know, she would understand now. So it kind of like smoothen a lot of things out after
Okay.
that transition. Yeah.
Well, where's one example, Javon, for the people listening out there? Because it's clear that, you know, sometimes in a relationship, there's some things you really at a point in time it will break the relationship. So there may be somebody who listening out there who maybe who might be as lucky as you guys. You know, they're interested in somebody who not safe, and they would like to get to know somebody. And maybe, you know, what's that one thing you maybe tell them that they should be like for you, because you say it was a point where it was a breaking point to a point, right? So where's that one example? What one of them you can say, well, I really wasn't going to settle for this, but I really couldn't make that deal with this. So as much as you love her, there was a situation, I guess you would have said, well, I good, boy. So where's that one thing, or is there really, you don't tell me everything, but where's one thing?
What I would say, well, even though Mandy wasn't saved in that part of the relationship, she was still a quiet girl. Like certain, I would say probably like groups of friends. She would,
Yeah.
even though she wasn't one to like go out and drink and, you know, get drunk and all of these things, the association with certain friends and so on, you know, she would have been cool with, and I would be like, you know what, we can't really be associating ourselves with this type of stuff, and we, you know, hanging out and other persons getting drunk and all of these things. So that was one of the things that sort of caused a little, because, you know, for her at the time, she would have seen it as, you know, it's no big deal, you know.
Yeah, that's
We
really normal.
know- Yeah, you know, we like with whoever it is cool, whoever. But yeah, so that was one of the things that kind of caused a little rift or a little conflict.
That's
at the
important
time.
because friends too could really destroy your relationship in about, because, you know, like depending who you circle with, especially when it is, let's say, an unbeliever who may be counseling, let's say in this case would that be a Mandy with certain things that she shouldn't do and she should do, and you know that the Bible clearly tells us certain things in that direction, right? How could two walk unless they agree, and it could really bring certain issues into your, I guess, your relationship. That's what you were seeing, asking.
Say again.
Is that the thing that you were seeing, that maybe this, you know, and with this influence in our life was maybe a bad thing that you could see affecting in the long run or something?
Yeah. So, you know, I would have seen that from my point of view, and
Right.
I would have understand that. So I would try. It kind of gave me the urge even more to lead her to Christ. You know, so that she would have seen of these things and, you know, just come out of that type of environment, you know.
Yeah. Awesome stuff, guys. We want to thank you for coming on the stream. Somebody just want to ask you a question what Mandy believed in before. Somebody just asking that question, like to Mandy, I guess, like what were your beliefs before or something?
Talking about like my religious beliefs.
I guess so. I don't know. I guess I would ask him.
Yeah, well, Hinduism. I was in Hinduism.
Oh, okay. So yes, she was in Hinduism. That's the people who asking. Wait, powerful stuff, guys. We thank you all for coming on the stream. If anybody had any questions, I guess they would ask. But we're going to Mark and Ava they're going to go through the comments, and then we have our next guest coming on, right? So you go ahead, Mark and Ava.
Yeah.
One thing that J1, I don't know if y'all talk about this while we went down. Sorry about that, guys. Just the internet went down. When J1 mentioned that he initially was trying to bring Mandy to God for his own selfish reasons, and he saw the transition in her and her response when he really did it from a place of love, and that's really admirable. And also, I think that's something for us to be aware of, because believe it or not, there's quite a few people I know where they say, well, most times it's the girl and the family, they go into church and stuff like that, and the parents say, no, you can't be with anybody unless they're saved, unless, you know, certain things going on. And the boy will do it. The boy will go to church, get saved, and they have certain things that you should have done then. Like you get saved, you get baptized, and then okay, fine, you could be in a relationship with the person. But at that point, you have to be able to assess certain things. I mean, even if you do it from a place of love, sometimes somebody might go to church and stuff with you, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they love God. They just do it And they really do it because the user is like you are the idol in their life. And there'll come a point in time where there will be a rift in the relationship because you're gonna want certain things, especially when it pertains to your walk with God. And the person may not necessarily want those things, of course, unless the person eventually changes and certain things changes about the person with their heart towards God. But I think is important for us to be aware of somebody who truly have a heart for God and is not like a counterfeit then, if you know what I mean. And the other thing that's especially what we were talking about earlier on, and Kyle mentioned it as well, the way different couples will have different stories, and Mandy mentioned that one of the things about Javon was that they had a lot of things in common, and Mark and I actually have nothing.
Yeah, well, there were a couple things. We both like God. We love God.
Yeah, but these are the obvious things. Like, like we really don't have that many things in common.
No.
And there was actually a point in time while we were courting, and I used to be like, Mark, how we even together? Like, we don't have anything in common. And that actually used to be a discussion. And honestly, it used to kind of be a concern for me because I used to be like, what are we gonna do with each other? Like, like
just agree to disagree.
and then, especially for me, there's certain things that I realized that Mark can't do. Like, he might get sick. It's just interesting, like the polar opposites in that sense. Anyway, let me read some of the comments. Ayana Tucson, good night to you. Let me see Crystal Martin, Esther Noel. I see Ayana doing some sharing there. Thanks, Ayana, for sharing. And I want to encourage everybody else that is on the stream to share as well. Aniala, good night to you. Kimberly, good night to you. Tracy Medina. Aniala asked when we're going back in studio. Aniala, Gail, okay, I got to answer that one for you. Aaliyah Charles David, good night to you. Good night, Lifa. I see you, Lifa. I see you. No worries. Let me see who else we have here. Ayana says she's single like $1. Ayana, you would make some notes tonight just in case, right? You never know. But I know we mentioned any other comments earlier on. She said that she felt a piece of God throughout her relationship, and that's how she know Anthony was the one. All right, Sharon Forrester, Marissa Marine. Good night to all of you lovely people. Thanks so much for being on the stream, guys. Let me see. Let me get into some comments. Anyhow, it says Jesus is the one. It's true. Esther Noel. Esther say I was hoping that someone would have found the one in the last show. Who knows? Maybe in some comment shows you might see those things happening. Esther, who knows? Aliyah Jadel, good night to you, Aliyah. I think this is the first time I'm seeing Aliyah. Hey, Aliyah, comment and let me know if this is your first time viewing. Rennie Bascom, Onika Narayan. I find it very interesting that you are not here on the stream. However, you are able to comment. Onika said, okay, so it looks attractive, not her heart. That's for you, Emma.
Well, her heart was part of the looks.
Good night to you. Lifa, thanks for backing us up there. Let me see. Krista Gordon, good night to you. Cynthia Seeley, good night to you. Crystal, say Mark, you're GT with Ava. Yeah, we all GT on this end. Leafy says you have to be persistent and asking. I'm not sure what she referring to there. I feel it's a voucher, It's about Leafa.
I don't know that is about praying to God or something. She probably
Crafty says I want my future spouse watching this boy. I don't know why that feels like a call.
If you just post on the live, comment and like Quasi post.
Let me see. Cecilia Jacob says great guys. Naomi Spencer, good night to you. What did Manny believe in before? But that was answered already. Esther Noel says, I strongly believe that God must be in the relationship for it to function. True. Marissa says, while Mandy Javon truly cared about you to lead you to Christ. Something there. Where did I go? Great. Patricia Tinto, good night to you. To Sai Joseph, good night to you. Ayana, you all have God in common. Yeah, well, that's what Mark said as
Yeah.
well. Patricia Tinto, both parties have to want to have that personal relationship with God and not just get into it for the sake of the relationship. True. Um, Marissa says, Ava, you give me hope here in case I have nothing in common with the one. Okay, who knows, Gail? Because it's working for Mark and I know. I must say, it's working for us.
Yeah.
Yes, Lifa. Remind me one more time, Lifa. Remind me one more time. Lester Messi, good night to you, Lester. It's awesome to see you here. Sasha Luces, Asha B, good night to you as well. Shanice Gonzalez. So, guys, you want to see your comments, all right? Yes. I don't think I missed anyone. Candida, Joseph, good night to you as well. Guys, remember, comment. If you have any questions, feel free to ask those questions. Maybe you have your own perspective on the things that we're discussing tonight. Feel free to share that with us as well, right? Maybe you can tell us as well what made you feel like you found the one, or how you knew that this person was the one for you to marry, or to be in a to choose to be in that committed relationship. So for our first giveaway, Mark, who should your first giveaway go to, since we're doing this together tonight? I saw somebody here that was real for the first time. Make it quick, Mark. Make it quick. Mark, make it quick.
Yeah, I don't know. You go ahead and choose. I so indecisive.
Tinto.
All right. Aliyah Jadel, congratulations to you, Aliyah. I always love giving giveaways to first-time viewers. And I personally do not think that I've ever seen Aliyah's name here. Aliyah, you can confirm if this is your first time viewing, and if it is, welcome to the Real Talk Show. If this is just your first time commenting, then I'm really happy you came out tonight and commented, all right? And anybody else who's viewing for the first time, I encourage you all to comment, all right? Because once I see new viewers, I always tend to give you all the giveaways, all right? Just too many of you all don't come on, because then Lifa wouldn't get hers, right? Lifa just messing with you. All right, so Kyle, we're gonna go back to Kyle now. We're gonna bring back Kyle now. Guys, remember, continue to comment. Remember to engage with the stream, and you all can feel free to share, right? Yes, the show already started, but a lot of good stuff is still to come, right?
Hey, I paid a disclaimer outside there. We can't vouch for nobody. But if you want to ask somebody a question, you can always message Eva. You can always message Unika. You know that because apparently there's a lot of people who just try to link. You know, Kwasi saying like more comments. You know, there's a lot of people just link up in the comments. You know, and they think, well, you know, yeah. Everybody had to try the thing, right? Everybody had to try and meet somebody. Yeah. So we have our next couple here. It's gonna be Chris and Cindy Emil. Marlon only coming on just now. Don't worry yourself, Marlon, right? So I don't know if they're ready. Let me bring them on and see if they're ready. That's when I can bring them on. Hey, where's the scene, people?
Hi. Good night, everyone.
I like
that. Hi, good night. Good to see you. I see you all over here. Good to be here. Yeah.
Oh, they can see us?
Yeah. I can see all of them.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought they couldn't see us.
Yeah, everybody else. I say good to see you all there. You know what I mean?
I like the little flare on the left hand side and making Sydney look like she on a Bollywood movie.
The little flare that way.
It's a kind of glare on it. It's okay, but on Sydney's side, it's a kind of
online. In the back.
No, not the back. It's just like a kind of glare. I don't know where it is. It's just
the laptop reflecting on the glass. Okay, got you.
Oh, okay.
And that makes it look like kind of Bollywood.
No, don't worry. It's not I talking about. It's not the laptop. Trust me. It's something else. It's kind of
is he here? Is he here, Kyle? Is he here? I know he's here.
Oh gosh.
Bollywood here in full.
Anyhow, guys, tonight the aim of the show really and truly is that a lot of people, they would like to meet somebody, and sometimes there's two ends of the coin, right? Sometimes people complicate it, and then sometimes people do put no effort into really when it is choosing somebody, right? So maybe I'll ask both of y'all with the first question, which is at the core of the show, right? What made you, Chris, decide, well, I want to marry this girl? Because maybe how long y'all were dating for? And what make it?
We were dating for like 7 years before we got married, right? So I had known Cindy. I had met Cindy when she was about 17. If they're around 7.
17?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was rough. You know what I mean?
And how old were you, Chris?
I was 22. Yeah, I was 22.
Whoa.
Yeah,
But
so-
those things happen, you know, Chris. It's how those
something
things
like
can
that.
happen.
Yeah, I mark out something like I do something like you would, but
Yeah. I'm Chris. If
Huh?
I was 14, boy.
Yeah, but so when you see that when I first met Ava, but we only started to really date until when she was 18, so I held on.
Which is good. That's good. That's good. That's important. That's important. But yeah, but we I was 22, and how we met was I used to use in my dad's church for about 2 years. I never spoke to her. We never had a conversation. I used to literally to be honest, I used to avoid her. And when I say avoid her, meaning this, I'll be honest. I there was nothing there now. I was just on my own beat. Right? Because even though I grew up in church, I was on a real foolishness back then. You know what I mean? I didn't have no real relationship with God. Yes, I know God, different things, you know. But, you know, I really wasn't sincere with him now. I was just doing foolishness, right? So you know, I wasn't in the right place. But when I met her, how it happened, I'm going to try and make this real short, right? Her mother, right, invited me to her graduation. And I was hesitant to go to graduation. I really didn't want to go. But because her mother is such a nice lady, it was hard I didn't want to break her down and say, well, no. So I said, okay, so I'll get back to you, because what happened, I had another person that same night who had a grad who wanted me to go with her. So, you know what I mean? It was a kind of, it wasn't much of a debate, because I wasn't going with that girl either, right, to be honest with you. I really wasn't going with that girl, like, out to the question, right?
Wow.
So, I was contemplating and thing, and then I said, I'll go. Because her mother's such a nice lady, and I didn't want to break her heart. I said, look, you know what, I will do it. So we went to grad and stuff, you know, making a long story short. And from the graduation, you know what I mean, Cindy started to grow on me. You know, it had like, you know, I would say, you want a lift home? You want to get a lift? I'll give you a lift home. Because they didn't have a car, right? They used to walk to church now.
I live
Right.
2 blocks from church, Chris.
It's more than 2 blocks.
Yeah, but we used to walk.
It's
to
about
church.
like 5,
There
6
was no
blocks.
need for a lift.
So they used to
Okay,
walk,
yeah.
right? So I say, well, it's nighttime, you know, it's in the night, right? It's after 7, 8 in the night. I say, you want to live home? I'm going to give you a lift home, and I will drop them home. And so things started to escalate a bit and stuff. And, you know, I really didn't treat her the best in the grad, which was wrong of me. And I repented for that. But somehow it wasn't the best, right, guys? It wasn't the best. And I repented of that, you know. But what happened after that? I started to feel a connection with her, because at that time, you know, unfortunately, I wasn't really in that place with God. So I was just going based on the natural, right? And in terms of the natural, there was some challenges there too, right? There was a connection. Naturally, there wasn't much going on, but the connection was there. I'm sorry. The connection was there though. And once I get stronger and stronger, and it reached a point where, you know, I didn't care. I started to feel, I said, well, this thing's strong, boy. Because there's some quality, you know, at the same time, she's doing things to try to impress me. You know, I like this. She started to try to cook and stuff, right? Cindy couldn't cook to save her life.
I was
Right?
only 17.
Cindy tried to make something lasagna. And boy, when I ate lasagna, boy, I wanted to spit out that lasagna. I'm being real honest, I wanted to spit out that lasagna immediately. But because she was there, her mother was there, sisters was there, I said, I just want it. I said, this tastes good. I said, this thing tastes good. It's impressive, you know. But what I want to say though, Cindy has now become, right, one of the best cooks that I know personally. So you can real handle it. I've been
They give us 17. They give us 17. But go ahead. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, nah, that time she's about 18, 19. But now,
Watch, Chris. One more year.
make a big difference.
Anyhow, go ahead. Yeah.
But no, Cindy could real handle it. Cindy could real cook. But anyway, but what happened is when we did eventually get married, why I married Cindy actually is because I was totally in love with her. And the kind of things that we went through within that 7 years, the kind of things I do, the kind of things she do, the kind of things I did, me, if anybody could stick with me for 7 years, right? This is how I saw it. If you could stay with me for 7 years, yeah, boy, you ought to be, this is how I saw it back then. You have to be the one that God have for me. Because I did a lot of nonsense. I was a very difficult person to get along with. Real difficult, right? And Cindy stick it out now. We broke up many times, you know, and just like Mark and Ava, we are real opposites. We are totally opposites. And anybody who knows us could tell you that, right? The things I like and what she likes is like, Cindy will sit down and watch. We're watching this morning again?
No, we're not going there.
What is this watching this morning? Right, Cindy wants to sit down. Listen, hey guys, Cindy wants to sit down as an adult and watch Flintstones cartoons. Flintstones. Right?
That's all right. That's all right.
I can't do those things. You know what I'm saying?
Look, Ava said Mark too.
I can't do things like that. And DuckTales and that kind of thing. I can't watch shows like that. And we are different things.
Oh gosh, that's not the show.
Just real different, you know? Real different. But what happened though, I fell in love with Cindy. It's love. Because listen, love covers plenty. Yeah? But we used to have some bad arguments. It used to be bad. When we was courting, it was very bad, from bad arguments. And we would still come back together. And that would show me, I said, but all these things I tell this girl, and she's still coming back. We still coming back together. I said, nah, boy. I can't see anybody else doing this, you know. I can't see another woman going through this, you know. And because I was in love with her, because I saw the fact that she would fight for the relationship and we would fight for it, I said, nah, boy, this is the one for me, boy. That's how I felt, you know. This is the one for me. And then as we grew in Christ, when we were married, and there are certain things that we would used to have issues with before, you would find those issues would start to get smaller and smaller now. Certain things you'd have a problem with started to become nothing. Bypass. Like when Cindy was younger and thing, I don't think she mind me sharing this, right? I was like this too. If Cindy see me talk, if a girl talking to me, just talk to me and say how you going and thing is a problem. Right? And with me now, if a fella talk to Cindy, is a problem. And why my view is this, why I didn't like fellas talking to Cindy, because back then, you know, like, what's your motive for talking to Cindy? You know me and Cindy going wrong, right? That's how I used to think, right? Real walk, right? You know me and Cindy going wrong. Were you talking to Cindy for a whole hour and thing for? For what? For what? Right? So I used to tell her, I said, Cindy, so Mark or something. Why are you talking so long? Why you talking so long with the fella? You know what I mean? You think, I don't understand. So it used to be confusing to me back then. With insecurities, right? And with me, it was the same thing. If I talk to a female for more than 2 seconds, Cindy vex. She vex. Don't talk to me. Well, go and talk to that one who was talking to. All I can talk to that girl who was talking to. All these kind of things, right? All these kind of things we battle with. And many other things I won't go into tonight. We won't finish, right? So, you know, with the different things, all that said, you know what, boy, in spite of all that, in spite of all the things we went through, I'll say, I was real in love with him. Real in love. You know, and still in love with him. And that love hasn't changed. It actually get more fiery, especially as I grow in Christ. It actually get more and more passionate now than back then. You know what I mean? At times.
It ain't reach Flintstone level.
Nah. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with Flintstone. I just don't like them.
Yeah, if Flintstone on hand until watch I go watch it too, Gil. But anyhow, what about your end? Chris Real Trey on the bus, right? So people one person asks a question.
I didn't throw anybody. No, I didn't throw the bus too.
One person asks a question. I have a couple questions to ask you along the journey, right? But maybe you could share your side of the story. Like, what make you decide to go with this man? Because it sounded like Chris was real toxic. It sounded like he had some serious issues. So why does this stick it out in this area? Like, you know?
Well, one of the things he didn't tell you is that when my mom asked him to take me to the grad, I didn't know. She didn't tell me. So when I came home, I think I was doing classes or something. And when I came home, she told me that Chris, and I was so mad. I was really upset. I was like, but I don't talk to Chris. I don't want Chris to take me. I was mad. I was really upset because I didn't know she did that. And we ended up going, as he said, it was a horrible night. It really was, you know.
Cindy had other options?
It wasn't horrible, Cindy. It had parts that was okay. Generally it was, but it had one or two parts that were.
Right? He came late. He didn't bring up the couch. He didn't open the door. He didn't even help him up the stairs.
Generally, it was horrible, Chris.
Just not what you picture your graduation could be, right? So it was.
So you had other options? You had other options? And
I was going by myself. I didn't really think about having an escort to the graduation.
She had another option. It was her father. Yeah.
Probably. Right?
That's what I mean. I don't know if that. You went to mixed schools, and I really don't know.
No.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like a lot of my friends came by themselves, so it wasn't like no big thing. But that night was a really hot mess. I was even shocked that he after the graduation that he actually, you know, asked me to give me a lift home. And I was saying to myself, I come to this church for over 2 years. You never once asked me for a lift home. And now you ask me for a lift home. It's just kind of like, okay, that's weird. But I guess that was his game back then. Give him a lift home. Right? Right? So, and as you know, he was like way older than me. Chris at that time was
22.
22, yeah, but 6 years older,
years.
kind of thing. And there was I think Patricia asked the question, what was my thoughts about Chris even before? And my thoughts with Chris was, I used to watch him and used to be like, this guy is like somebody I don't want to talk to, because I would see him try to small talk a girl in the corner there, then hold a next girl hand there, then among the girls on them. And I'd be like,
Chris, you was an usher? You was an usher in the church?
Well, you know, so it's not somebody I used to be like, okay, yeah, boy, he's a nice guy. No, it wasn't like he's a nice guy. It's like,
Listen.
It was like, you don't want it, because he'll come and tell you things, and I know he telling girls things just to wow them, just to play with their minds. And it was just what I observed. I really didn't want to interact with him. So as I said, we went to the same church for 2 years. We really didn't talk. And so I was really mad when my mom came and hit me this. It was like, okay. But as I said, we courted for 7 years. In the 7 years, I actually flew out for a vacation and actually stayed longer than I wanted to. So I flew out on a family vacation. I was just to be a month and come back, and I actually got some opportunities to stay longer there, and it was something that, I mean, it's not so much my decision, it was so much more my family decision, because being young, I was about 18, 19 if so much, and
Nah, you was about 20.
20?
Yeah.
And they were encouraging me to, some opportunities that came up, a way for me to stay and work and stuff like that. And within the time period,
your mother blasting her. She said she was mad at you, but you was mad at her. But go ahead.
Yeah, and it didn't. Yeah.
She didn't tell her why she was mad at me. I'm gonna tell her what happened. She leave on her part. You want to? You wait.
I'm telling a story.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead. I apologize.
Cindy, I'll try to meet him. But go ahead.
You go ahead.
Yeah. So in that period, even being away, the decision was, it might be a long distance relationship, but things didn't really work out, and I guess that's just how it ended up. For us, we came back, and even when I came back to Trinidad, things was really it went haywire from there. It ran haywire from there.
Guys, it's a lot to know.
It was it's 7 years.
It's a lot.
We came back, and there was a lot of things that happened when I was not in the country, and I found out that I was being stalked, and I was getting text messages and death threats, So I was like, whoa, okay. So it was, yeah.
Wow.
I'm confused. But yeah, it was a long story
She
because
never hear what I see like that.
yeah, another girl was trying to she claimed him, she claimed him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Chris is baggage in immigration.
Listen, I got clean.
Yeah. So it was tough, and then listen, I think we actually fought after all the confusion. We fought to have to continue with this relationship because, as I said, investment of 7 years is not something you just walk away and throw your hands up in the air. You push through, and we pushed through, and even coming on to the end of the 7 years when we decided to get married and stuff like that, God worked out everything for us. And even when we got married, things were still a little rough because I got married at the age of 23, which was pretty young. Still trying to figure out, being a wife, being submissive, this whole role of a wife,
Mm-hmm.
And so it was difficult, but it's now what, 16 years, 17 this year?
This year is 17.
17 years now. This year will be 17 years of marriage, and
wow.
I know you're sad if he's the one, but really and truly, he's the only one for me. And even Chris, I will tell Chris many times. I'll look at him and I'll say, I have something to tell you. And he'll be like, what? And I'll be like, I'm just in love with you. And I just do that spontaneously. It's just because it's true. I can't even make up a story and tell you, well, it's some biblical verse or something. It's just that I'm just in love with him, and
wow.
Where God took us and where He brought us, it's phenomenal where we are right now. He talks about all bad arguments. Now it's discussions. Now it turns into discussions. We might disagree to agree or whatever the term you would use, but we just
we still have arguments.
We have arguments, but it's nothing, But it really is. As he said, love covers a multitude of sins and shortcomings. And one of the things that I could tell you have to be easy to forgive each other because, I mean, come on. You're in this together.
With me, she had the real forgiveness with me back then. I can be real off. So people know that. I could say a lot of things I shouldn't say. And the Lord has helped me a lot over the years. I'm still working on my heart.
Yeah, but because we see that on this stream, but go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No, he's working on my heart. He's still working with me. He's working with me. Jesus is working with me. But long ago, it was a lot worse. It was rough, and God has started something, and He's gonna finish it. Well, He totally changed. Why would not be over timing anymore? Trust in God.
So it's a side question I want to ask you guys, right? We have Marlon and Lifa coming up next, right? I see all in the comment section. So let's get ready. We just go into the comments, and then we go into you, Marlon and Lifa, right? But I wanted to ask both of you all because you're kind of answering it, but still I want to ask you if there's something specific, right? Now, a lot of people get married and they actually start off with in love, like you're saying, they love with each other and different things like that, right? But would you say to your marriage, you all had to put a little effort to make things work a little better? Because it seems like you all were total opposites. You all might have a little arguing and fighting. So what would be, did you all have to put a little intentional effort to maybe make the relationship work? And if that was the case, what did that look like? Like you're all saying, you used to argue before, but now you're all having discussions now. Like you all would talk about certain things and how that translates.
Are you talking about when we were courting or when we are married? What's you talking about?
Right, well, right now, like even if you're married right now, they're saying like what did you all have to, what is the kind of work you all have to pay in?
So what? First we come to some sort of common ground kind of thing in terms of how we opposite.
Yeah, like just dealing with Chris, because Chris didn't change for much of a year, so just
dealing Trust me, Kai, up to yesterday.
Love, boy, Kai, love.
Yeah, but one of the things too, Kai, is that now I know this is really talking. A lot of people don't know my husband, but he's really out of timing. He's not just out of timing with people in Champion and whatnot. He's also out of time with me, right? So sometimes he'll just say something and it'll be like,
it's kicks.
And he always uses just joking, right? Of course, but sometimes, boy, it's be like, gosh, So something can be overwhelming, yes. But one of the things I really do, because I don't really take him serious anymore when he comes with that, I would be like, what off my back kind of thing, I don't take it personal. I don't say, well, oh my gosh, he would say something or make a joke that some stupidness, I won't take it serious. But if it is that he wants to do something, I want to do something different or something like that, we really do compromise a lot. Most of the times, in terms of we compromise equally. He might give in, I might give in. We don't really make it a debate or a battle.
Yeah. I think what it is at the end of everything, you try to have a peaceful resolve.
Yeah.
That's what we try to do.
That's it.
And the only way that is possible, guys, let me honest with you, the only reason we could be married for 17 years is because of Jesus. It had nothing to do with me, possibly. It had nothing to do with me, right? I know it's God, and He's the one that actually over our marriage. So that's something I pray about all the time, you know what I mean? And I feel at peace about it. And the fact that, being in love with your wife is important, but there's a lot more to marriage than that. Can't just be in love alone.
Yeah.
Love alone is not enough. You know what I mean? So what's important is to marry somebody who is in line with your destiny now.
Yes.
Who are willing to do and go out and do the things that go on. You know what I mean? Different things like that now.
Yeah.
And I really thankful for the kind of person Cindy is, because Cindy helped me a lot. Listen, Cindy has helped me a lot over the years. A lot. In certain areas. And I always say, thanks to certain things and fun things. Yeah, still have things to work on, like I said, but she has done a great job in my life. It's certain things I learned from Cindy, and she's learned from me too, right? But she has really, really helped me with the Holy Spirit as well. The Holy Spirit has, certain things I would say, Chris, there's many ways, it shouldn't be like that, different things. I always come and apologize and say, love, I love you. She will come and tell me just so I ain't tell her this for a while. She's ready to do that, right? And say I love you.
Yeah.
And when she do that, they say, "Oh, that's so nice." And I come and hug her and I say I love you too, darling.
Right.
We giving Mark and Ava some ideas. You're only smiling.
It's good. I say I love you too, darling. And we hug up. I'm a hugger. I like to hug, right? Cindy now.
Right.
I love hugs. I love hugs. I could hug her right too.
That sounded weird. I wouldn't think that.
You won't think what?
No, not necessarily that you are not a hugger, right? More Cindy. She is come across like a kind of clingy, hugging up right through, and I think that's how she is. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Cindy, she's not so clingy again like before. She was more clingy, She's still a little clingy, but not like that, right? But when we home, I love to hug up Cindy. She could tell I was a hugger. I always put my hand around her, come on, hug, and sometimes they might be too much hugs, right? I just like them kind of thing there, What's that?
I was gonna tell you that maybe for this year for our birthday, you should go and plant a tree and they could go and dance around it. But it seemed like she needs to plant a tree for you.
Sorry, and I want to tell moms, she watching, Cynthia, that I love you too. I saw you love your son-in-law. Moms, I love you plenty. You like my mother. I consider you my mother. I love you too, moms.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting to hear, right, Chris? That sometimes, both. It seemed like three things you all have in common, right? That's the relationships that's on. That Cynthia is the one who called it up because within all itself, whatever, they're not like each other.
No. It wasn't gonna happen.
No, it wasn't.
But what she didn't tell her, though, you didn't tell them this part.
What?
Although she didn't like me in that way, right? She actually did like me, but because I used to operate, she didn't want to ask me anything.
He was.
She didn't say that
He was
part.
very handsome at that point, but
At that point? I like that at that point, yes. Yeah, at that point.
Chris, it's okay, Chris, it's okay. We all growing.
Yeah, she said at that point.
You know what I mean. But yeah,
yeah, of course
I
know exactly what you mean.
We would never, according to what Chris said, if mommy didn't intervene, no, we would not have look, my sister said yes, she like yes, Alicia.
Hey, thank you, Alicia.
But no, we would have never
spoken
spoken
to
to each
other.
other.
Busty file is she had always liked me. I know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes some people just need a little help, a little intervention to help them.
Yeah.
Online, let me know if you need a little intervention for a little help, because sometimes you just really need somebody to choke a little fire to say, well, nah, maybe you should make this choice because you and your own self, Chris, I know a little more than obviously maybe it's Shane, right? I know you'd never pick Cindy as your wife at that point in time, or your girlfriend at that point in time.
No, yeah.
True, very true.
Yeah.
You was never really attracted to Cindy in that kind of a way.
I was not correct.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's totally wrong.
yes.
Oh,
I didn't say it. I didn't say
Oh,
it.
we go down narrow tonight, right? This is not a show for
I didn't say it. I'm just saying. But nothing wrong with that. How I play this way, right? She was nowhere close to your type. You know, some people have a type.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Yeah. You're right.
That's important for people to know. Many times people have a type.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
sometimes they could be missing out on a great person
Yeah.
because of just a
So you
simple
kinda
thing
stick
of.
to your type.
Yes.
Exactly.
You
Totally
you
agree.
have a stereotype.
Yeah, I
type,
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
sometimes people don't stop and realize they're in the fourth relationship and they keep going with the same type. And they
Yeah.
realize that is what getting them in trouble right through. You know what I mean? And they don't stop and realize maybe I'm making a wrong decision and these kind of type thing. But Mark, you wanted to ask a question before we go to the comments or something?
No, I was just going to say I was wondering if in the beginning, because Chris' father is a pastor, that kind of gave him a bit of validation in the eyes of the public, that he would have been the apple and fall far from the tree because his name is Christian.
Boy, Mark, I'll tell you something, boy. Even
Probably that was my mom thinking. Could be her.
Right.
My mom.
it was her
thinking.
mother thinking at the time. She
Probably.
thought so, but
Yeah.
she didn't really know. She didn't know me. You just see him in church sitting down in that chair for 2 hours, and I go on. You don't know nothing about me now. Say,
Yeah.
you know, you look like a nice fella.
Could be.
At that time, I was not a nice fella. I just tell you.
But hopefully what her mom saw was this moment now.
I believe that's what it is. What I believe, that's what I believe. I believe that she saw the Lord show her the future and said, listen, he will be a great son-in-law to you, and he'll be a great husband to your daughter. I think she saw that. And that made a difference. I believe so. Because at that time, that was the case. That was the case.
And what I was just gonna ask too is, sometimes people just wonder if somebody's not my type, if I'll be attracted to them or if I could truly love them and that kind of thing. But I guess you would experience that, like what you would share your views on that. Like, could a type really be an idol or?
Definitely. I think once you have a type, once you stick to that type, what you're actually doing there is a short circuit in yourself, and God can talk to you like that. Because if your type is real valuable to you, God might tell you, listen, that is your wife there. Right? It's simple as that. And when you look to the person that God showing you, you could be like, nah, that can't happen.
Yeah.
That can't work. Lord, that can't work. And you will fight him now. And that's how you know that idol. Because you're fighting God, you're fighting because you know this person have the qualities of a wife. This person have the qualities you want from somebody because she's submissive, she love the Lord. You know what I mean? And you would fight because the person mightn't be physically who you're looking for.
Yeah.
But really and truly, that's why people just get tapped in life now, boy. And you can go down a road and destroy your life because you're looking for a particular type. The type can mash you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That can mash. The only type I know about is when I type on a laptop. Other than that, I don't know.
Well, the only thing I would check on and that is, I guess, when it comes to type, you just have to be open before the Lord and say, God, if it have any kind of lust in here, like in terms of, I want this type of person to fulfill a lustful desire, or
Right.
just, I guess you just have to be open with your heart before God.
Correct, exactly.
It's just lust that is determining what is your type.
Yeah, because if you lust right, you'll go for, you'll go for a certain type now.
Yeah, because I was gonna say also the reason why people must be aware of that in the area of like type and that kind of what we're talking about. We're not necessarily talking about preferences, but everybody know when they talk about like a type of person, you have to be honest and see to yourself where even that input come from. Many of those things come from your culture, your background, and it's not really you making a decision that's best for your life. It's just because of things you grew up in. So you'd see like in maybe like certain cultures, like let's say an Indian family, different. It's many times stick to a particular race or African, but you stick to your race and you realize that the reason why you do that many times is just because of your culture, upbringing.
Yeah.
You hear people make statements, you see that is all you know. And many times you don't realize there's much more there's much more out there for you to grow and be involved and get to know people. Because really and truly, Chris, at the point in time, I could say, let me not say it, right? You are much more attracted to Sydney now.
Man.
I have no problem to say that I really
I
want.
don't mean it's not a bad way, no. I mean practical because at the point in time,
very long hair. And as again, I was young.
Listen, like I said earlier too, right?
Yeah.
In my son, I was drawn to Cindy by a connection. Right? Not a physical connection, but more just, you know what I mean, like in a company, like it to be around, you know, like it to be around or spending time with her, that kind of thing. But at that time, no, it wasn't physical.
Yeah.
Right?
okay.
But now, you know, she has, you know, certain things has changed and has changed to be better. So, you know, it's a blessing all around.
You know?
Amen. Amen. You'll find a diamond in the rough, man. Don't worry yourself.
Yeah, man, that is it.
Anyhow, we thank you for coming on, Cindy. It was lovely to hear it to be a part of no. There's been a lot of no. Just say Chris publicly trying to embarrass you here, but you know I'm just joking. But thanks for coming on, guys. Eva and Mark, you'll take it away, and then we're bringing on the next guest. So you guys, so Mark and Marlon and Leaf, they get ready. Yeah, Marlon and Leaf, they get ready to come on, right? But you get Eva.
All right. So we're gonna go to the comments now, guys. Sorry, I just having some technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
But I think Kyle asked it just now. I was kind of focusing on the comments, so I didn't really get to hear. But I think it's also so important to highlight that yes, Chris may have said that when in the early stages, Cindy was necessarily his type. But as he grew to know her and he fell in love with her, I don't know if he said it just now. I don't know if Kyle cleared that part up. But I can guarantee you that if you were to ask Chris now, do you look at your wife and see her as, you know, the person that you're happy now that this is your wife and you're not unsure or feeling like I wonder if I made the right decision. I'm sure Chris will say that yeah, and now that she is my type. I remember hearing it. I could say this with certainty because I remember there was an event in Champion once and Chris went up and he said that to him, Cindy is the most beautiful woman in the world. And that just goes to show you people, like anybody here that's viewing, that if you feel like, you know, you have a type and the person has to fall within the certain criteria, it's not really that important. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a little preference and that kind of thing, but don't let that be the top of your list and don't let that be like it. Like if this person don't have, well, what is that type thing?
Like, for instance, they have dimples. I just choose something PG because people are all kind of types.
Okay, so if the person have dimples or don't have dimples, like nah, this can't be the one for me, right? So don't be so I don't want to say shallow, but you know what I'm trying to say, right, guys? Cindy and Chris is legit living proof of that, right? I'm trying to get the comments here. You got it here, right? Unfortunately, we were bumped off of the stream just now, so I don't have all of the comments, but I'm gonna see what I could get here off of Facebook and through my phone, alright? Now I see and Mrs. Seeley, good night to you, Mommy Seeley. She real
it's true. I wanna
people real talk about her in the comments here. Mommy was matchmaker, Mommy was seeing things before you all. A lot of things, and Mommy name real cool in this chat tonight, right? Look at the first comment I'm seeing here. It's from Cynthia Seeley. She says, I think maturity and knowing Christ keep them together. It's true.
That's true.
Esther Noel, it's so good to hear men say that their wife helped them. Yeah, that's cool. That's amazing. Let me see where we going. Crystal. Well, that's what I know. Cindy did like Crystal a lot. Crystal, well, no things. Crystal, no details here.
Yeah.
Let me see what else we have here. Let me say good night to Alicia Supol. Good night to you. Patricia Tinto says, Mommy, was the intervention? It's true. Leafy Greens, I was be trying to chuck fires on people as be out in it. So Leafy trying to do what Cynthia did, but it's working on for Leafy. Let me see. Leafy Green. Some of them are master firefighters. Ayana says, and you are limiting your choices. I guess this probably means with regards to types.
Sure.
Cynthia, no, that's not I thinking it was the Lord who showed me. You see, mommy was on to something. Mommy says the Lord who showed her.
Yeah.
It's true. Look at that, sir.
There was calling for an intervention for Alberto as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So Aniala said he needs some help in that area, which is true. I agree with that, Aniala, 100%. Ayana says it was lovely hearing your love story. Crystal, say, well, this was entertaining. Lifa, if you tell me about the voucher one more time, let me see if there's any other comments, because I know I had a lot of comments. I'm so sorry that I lost them because the internet went down. I don't know if you had any questions or anything like that. So if you still have the previous questions, you can probably take a look and see if there were anything. The previous comments, sorry.
No, people wasn't asking any questions. They didn't ask any questions. They were just commenting going along. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let me do my second giveaway for tonight. Who is the second winner tonight? You know what?
Hey, somebody did ask. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I think tonight would be right if we didn't award Miss Seeley what she did back in the day. Miss Seeley, you've been awarded tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, you were awarded with having Chris Neal as your son-in-law, but tonight you get it through with Real Talk. You are the winner of our second voucher tonight. Congratulations to you, Mrs. Seeley. And big up to you, right?
Yeah.
We real happy for what you did back in the day because we real love Chris and Cindy.
Yeah, and I'm thankful for what your sister did because we'd have never met Kyle and you would have never met your husband. I thank your sister for.
Okay, so we're bringing up Maria, bringing up Miss Seeley tonight, all right? So Kyle, you can go back to you. I don't know if there's any comments that you see, Kyle, that you want to highlight. Like I said, I lost some of them.
Now somebody just asking a question, but they left already. They was asking like anytime during these 7 years did you want to truly give up? I think they kind of did share yes the answer to that. They did share they wanted, but I guess one of the parties was willing to overlook certain situations and love in spite. So we have our next guest here. We have Marlon and Leafy Greens. I think Marlon later on Marlon. Let me ask him if they separate. I think they separate. Marlon, was he seen by?
Cool.
I guess they are separated. Throw on Leafy the DJ in the background.
Yeah.
Wow. Somebody in the studio. One all in the studio.
Yeah, I'm in the studio.
Hey, nice to have you all on the stream. How are you all going? You good?
Good.
Yeah.
Leafy again nervous all. She real chatting in the comments, eh? Now she go and shine Marlon. Where's that one?
I already
Anyhow, let me ask both of you all shoot off with the question one time, right? Marlon, how you know this girl was you one day?
Yeah.
In our next room, you do something unique in our next room, so she can't elbow you or pinch you or nothing. So go ahead.
A few things, boy. I found that. Well, after giving my life to the Lord, right? Certain people know certain things about me, but I've never gotten so how to say, boy? Can I say captivated without it making it sound like is anything? I was so captivated, boy, by attempts, by friends reaching out and that kind of thing. And after getting to know the person, boy, I found that this is something I could do this for the rest of my life. This thing right here is beautiful. This thing is amazing. I could do this for the rest of my life. And kind of early in, I did, but I guess counseling really helped too, because we went to counseling before we were engaged, right? And that really helped me to see certain things that I know that I would not have seen on my own. And yeah, I feel like it got me more attracted to her then. And so I would say the things that we've been through, from meeting one another, from going through counseling and having real tough things to deal with head on together. She had this real desire to just grow, boy. And if anybody know me, I have a little problem, but a big problem with that, right? Like I could do anything, I could overcome the world, and she being that opposite to me, boy. I feel like I really needed this in my life too, boy. Like they say opposites attract now, boy. So I felt like that it complimented me in that way, boy. And I find like she was, I don't know, right, but she was willing to work out things too, boy, Kyle, boy. You know what I mean? After getting to talk to and thing, and we fall out on certain things, we would always take our time and sit down and talk about no quarrel, and we never shot at each other. Never. I never experienced this in a relationship, Kyle. Right? So I find this a real blessing. What else do I have here? Work through things, growth mindset. Yeah, we had same values. Yeah, we have values that I found were, and knowing that she was in the industry of cooking and hospitality and thing, that was attractive to, boy. So yeah, a lot of things. But obviously, the walk with the Lord and thing that she was in our courting time, that was sometimes when it had to do with things with the Lord. I little back and forth and thing, but I found that she gave me a different perspective on my walk with God and prayer and some things. So I found it was edifying spiritually and all that way. Yeah, all in one package.
Okay. Well, let me hear from Lifa. I have a question to ask you, Marlon. I might throw you off. Well, I want to ask Lifa. Let me hear Lifa's stories, please. Because some people want to know Lifa, some people asking, where's your strategy and all that kind of thing, because there was some help. So let me hear you, Lifa.
Well, my answer first the strategy, or why?
No, like you're like maybe any answer you could say the strategy, right? But maybe why you choose this guy here? Because you know Marlon for like 2-3 years, right? 2-3 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Before you all were married, yeah, like yeah. So like why?
Well, I knew him, but I didn't have any kind of friendship with him. Really, he was just this guy around church, blanking me
right.
Every opportunity he had, like Marlon. Marlon, I used to tell Marlon he was the king of drying up conversations, because I would like attempt to have a conversation with this guy and he's sending me emojis. Like, I ask you a question about your life and you send me an emoji. Like, what is that? Always like dry up conversations every attempt I had to speak with him. But in terms of strategy, okay, first let me say why I chose Marlon, I guess. Marlon is different from anybody I would have been with ever. He is very unique. I feel like he suits me so well. Like the things that I thought generally people may think is really weird, Marlon embraces that. He embraced that wholeheartedly, like me wanting to run around the mall in a dinosaur costume or wearing a onesie and different things like that.
True.
So he embraced me, and my family took a liking to him, and my mom particularly. Like, I remember years ago, like years, I told this guy, if you want to get to know me, you have to ask my mom. Trying something new. And he asked my mom, and my mom laughed in his face and never answered him. And I was just like, okay, does not have mom's stamp of approval, but yet she's calling Marlon privately. They're going out, they're liming, and all those different kinds of things. So he won my family's heart. He really made me laugh, and he really helped me draw closer to God in different areas. But I think the biggest thing for me, like what probably solidified choosing him, was how he would handle conflict. So I remember one time we were hanging out, and I can become very passionate sometimes about what I'm sharing. And Marlon was just like, don't raise your voice. We don't raise our voices here. Like anymore. He's like, no, don't raise your voice. We don't do that. And I was like, oh, okay. And then another time, I remember we had like this falling out, and I just wanted him out of my face, like, get away from me, move away from me, please. Like, and this boy decided to kneel down by my foot and start to pray. I am upset. I don't want to see your face. I need time to cool down, and you here praying and asking the Lord to help us see the situation properly. And I'm just like, how can I even be mad at you? Like, you're taking the situation to the Lord. I can't be mad at you. You have the Lord fighting right now. And then he decides to go upstairs and like wash all the wares in my sink and clean up and get me food. And I'm just like, okay. So in the middle of such a difficult time, not an argument, because we never really have like brawls and all of that, but it's like in the middle of this disagreement where I'm obviously so upset, he is choosing not to leave. And to me, that was really important because, you know, people could have like anger issues and they could start to ball up and leave and storm out on you. And that showed me that he was willing to stay and stick it out no matter the situation. And even being married now, I've found that to be more than true. He has really stuck it out through thick and thin. And so that was probably what made me say, okay, I'm definitely going to choose this guy. He's in it for the long haul. But yeah, in terms of strategy, like when I met Marlon, I was really attracted to the way he would worship the Lord, right? I told him this before. He'd be like playing the bass guitar, and he's having such a blast, having real fun, and I just found that so admirable. So that was my first initial attraction to him. But then he dropped conversations for about 2 years. And then we had to where we really got closer, we did this play in church and we danced together, but little did Marlon know that I told the choreographer it's better if I dance with Marlon because of my height. We would work better as a pair to dance with. And so because of that, we ended up dancing together for the play. And we just got to know each other gradually. Then, yes, thank you, Unika, and thank you, Champion. We just got to know each other gradually then. And it would have like one or two things sprinkled in terms of placing myself strategically around him or asking him certain types of questions or even speaking in code to his brother about things, you know. But I almost cut him off like completely. I was just like, I remember telling my friend, like, you see this boy, he wasting my time. Tomorrow I just gonna tell you, stop talking to me, just leave me alone. And funny enough, the day that I was planning to do that is the day that he finally came forward. Because I kind of trap him too. I mean, let me not say trap. Trap is the wrong word. Trap is the wrong word.
That's like by the catching fish. Go ahead.
We shared this in a video already, so I don't think you'll feel horrible about me sharing it again. But what happened was that year we had a gift exchange, right? And my roommate was his earthling for the gift exchange. So he was like, well, you know your earthling, you know your roommate best, so you have to help me find the gifts for her, blah, blah. We went to the mall and shopped for her for like 10 minutes and then shopped for me for like 2 hours. I mean, trying on dresses, all kind of things. Right? And so we were spending time, and he used to do this thing all the time where he'd be like, wait, right? So I would ask him a question and he'd say, wait. And that used to get me so upset. I used to be like, wait on what? So one night I was just like, he said, wait. And I was like, for what? And he goes, oh, because you're weirdly wait. So I said, you know what? I'm going to ask him a question where he has to confess. So I was like, weirdly wait to what? To who? You? I mean, he had to say either yes or no. So he was like, yeah, but how you want me to just say that just so? And yeah, so after that little confession, that's when we really kick-started getting to know each other more. And Marlon was very clear about his intentions. Like 1 week after that, we went out. He says he doesn't remember this at all. And I find that so odd because I know I remember it because I have the WhatsApp receipts for it. right? Went to tell my best friend, yo, this is what this guy said, right? He was like, you know, I looking for a wife and I chose you. And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so because he was so honest and upfront about his intentions, I was like, okay, this is somebody I can be open with and get to know. And that was the beginning of the history.
I can't remember that, by the way. But
I don't understand how you can't remember. I find that so out there to say now. Like after 1 week.
It is something I would say, just I can't remember saying it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So Leaf, I'll ask you this question, right? Did you feel weird doing those things, planning strategy? Because I don't know if there's a lot of single women watching the stream right now, and I remember we had like a back and forth on that, like a strategy and a woman doing things. And did you feel weird at the point of time, like deployed like a strategy to actually, get that thing in motion?
Well, no, but that's because I'm like, if I had the same strategy when I was in the world, well, not the same strategy, but if I could employ strategy when I'm in the world, why can't I do it now? Like, it was more so that I knew to a sense what I wanted, and I wanted to find out if this is what the person also wanted to, and so yeah, I did what I had to do.
I like that. She said she had to do more.
I think he had some strategies in there too. I think he had some in there too.
Was that what saying, Mark? Good.
I was just want to ask Marlon, did you have any idea she was interested in you over the 2 years you was drying up conversations?
Virgin, I remember. I wish I had the chance to show. Onika would be able to tell you. I remember messaging Nix and said, Nix, this girl messaging me right through my. You want to get messaging me so far, why? You want to tell she why? But penguin and all kind of thing, boy. You know what I mean? So yes, I did know that she was doing something and she was interested, but I was real standoff boy for some time in my life and things, certain things happen in my life and relationships, and I was trying to be a different way now, but so. Yeah.
The question I was going to ask you, Marlon, is along them lines. Like, did you ever believe like somebody in the past was the one, if you want to call that, and if it is what if that was the case, it don't have to be the case, but like if you think you had a candidate to maybe get married to, and maybe that didn't, you realize that didn't work out, because there are a lot of people who go through that stages in life, right, where they meet somebody and they think, well, like this thing gonna work out, but then when they realize it didn't work out for whatever reasons, right? So my point why asking that question is really to get into like what really make the difference in that scenario if you had that situation at all.
Well, I would say before coming to the Lord, I remember wanting to be with somebody. I didn't think about marriage because I was really young, but I just remember telling my mother, this is the person I want to be with and I don't want to break up with her, nothing. That kind of vibe. And yeah, that didn't work out. You know what I mean? I didn't think about marriage, but right. I knew I wanted to be with this person and I didn't want anybody else. But that clearly didn't work out. And after coming to the Lord, I was not in a serious relationship. Like right. Where I make, so I can't say that I've had that necessarily. But for me, all in my entire life, where I ask me what is the difference?
Yeah, like what made let's say with that person in the past, what make that difference now? Like,
boy, I would say for me a real big thing, boy, is working out things. For me, in my mind, I just thinking I know we're gonna fall out. I used to tell this all the time, man. Yo, I am not perfect. I am going to hurt your feelings. I am going to disappoint you. I will let you down. Just let me know this is how we're going to deal with it. We're going to talk about it. We don't ever have to break up ever in life. And she was willing to go down that road. I've never had a young lady, like in a serious relationship, talk about things to get over situations. They always some loud up. They always want to pelt something. They always want to put me up on some kind of Facebook or something. They want to make out the scene like it's in public, whatever it is. And I never like that kind of thing. So I'd say for me, the biggest thing was, well, beside Christ, right? I know Christ is the answer because she has the most important thing in her life. She's going to love God more than she loves me. So she has faithfulness, she has love, she has self-control, So that's the most important thing that makes a difference. But I would say that willingness to work out things where I think that one is a real big winner for me. Real big winner.
Okay. May I know if Mark or Eva want to answer any questions? I have one more for you, Marlon, but you go ahead. I don't know if Mark or anything want to ask anything.
I would just say, well, I was in the same play with you guys, where Lifa said she was the best dancing partner for you. And I would see how to, I used to see the Lifa eyes, but how to all you would watch each other. The first time all you watch each other in that play, I knew something.
Everybody know. Everybody I know what was going on in that play a long time, but go ahead.
And it wasn't acting, it was real. The feelings that I was feeling going on.
And the phone was rocking in that corner. Go ahead.
The pastor used to real make me out too. He said, man, dance one more time and she did. I said to him, you fall in love.
Yeah.
So done, yes?
I would just ask, sorry, you can
ask a question.
Well, anytime that you're married, because you're married a little longer than me, you would say that you've seen a change in your life and even in your relationship coming out of the courting to now?
In a real big way. Things that I never thought that I could have done, I have attempted. For me, just the fact that it was attempted is a big deal. Some things I have achieved, but I am attempting the impossible in my life personally. I remember one time while we were courting, I told her, you are like, the thing that I threw away in my life that I gave up on, boy, you are finding it and making it valuable again to me. And so today we married, and it's well, how I saw it when I was telling her was like crumble up pieces of paper that I just threw, like, I give up on that. That can never happen. I would never try that. I would never. And I was like, she take that paper and open up and say, hey, look, remember this, and you could do this. And so I actually would try doing what I would say the impossible now. So yeah, I would say yes. I see big changes in me personally. That's what I asked, right?
Yeah. To be honest, something I would say I experience as well. Like, I feel like the person that I am, I could not have been this person if I was not married to Ava. It's like she helped literally mold and develop me. And even the strength of her, like coming home to her every day and going through situations and being able to present it to her, I feel like she helping me go through life in a different way that I would have done it before. And I actually feel like I could go further because we're going through it together, and I feel like the same thing for you.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I remember I was even talking to Dion. I don't know if you're watching it, Eva's brother-in-law. And he telling me the same thing. He said, boy, same thing with me, boy, dog, boy. My wife, boy, since thing I meet her, she just making me do some things here. I never thought thing, and she pushing, man. Yeah, that's where a plus in a marriage now, boy, that she would push you to do extra, to make it go the extra mile, to do more than you thought you could have done now, boy. Bring out things in now, boy. Help me, that.
Right now, I was gonna ask Mark the question, right? But I'm gonna ask Lifa the question, because right now, I have a lot of ladies was commenting before and saying something that all these men and them getting some help from their wife, boy, and they're admitting it. So it seems like these women want a man who they could work with, right? So I gotta ask you this, right, Lifa? What advice you'd give to anybody out there who's looking for somebody and maybe they're holding on for a while now? Where's some advice you'd give them to, maybe do something new? We would tell them. I know I tried on the spot for you, but you take it simple as it were. Marlon can jump in if you want, man. But go ahead.
Apart from, seek somebody who loves the Lord, who trusts the Lord, but not just saying that, but actually you're seeing the fruit of it in their lives. Apart from that, I guess be open to possibilities, because it may have a situation where you are disregarding someone because they don't check all of the boxes. Like, people could make lists. They have to do this, they have to have that, they have to do this, that, be making this amount of money, that, like, so many people want a ready-made spouse, right. And the truth is, life could throw you so many curveballs, and that ready-made spouse could become real unready real quick, right? So those are the things that are going to matter in the long run, I would say. So I would rather you find somebody that you could work with. Find somebody who's also willing to work with you, because most of the times you want somebody who have everything ready, but you're not ready. You want them to do all these things, but you're not doing all those sorts of things either. So find somebody that you're willing to work with, and who's willing to work with you, who's willing to love you through difficult situations, but not just say it, but to actually show it in their actions. Somebody who will help you grow, because money could come and money could go. Looks could come and looks could go, but the person's character is what will remain, and how they support you, how they stick with you through things. I'd rather have somebody who's sticking with me through everything that life could throw at me, versus somebody who just rail abs and textongs and have a set of money, but they're never present in my life, So yeah, just be open to people. Maybe people even that not your type, because type betrayal.
Nice. Yeah. That's awesome to hear that, because it's a true thing. Because I think there are people out there people can meet people, man. But I think it has something reason why people I don't know. Where do you think it is, Marlon?
I think personally, people's heart is, as we first say, like they want like a perfect relationship, and you don't have that. Imagine Nick's boy. Nick's chum off there. I can't remember saying Nick's.
Some people have a perfect. Good.
Yeah, some people want a perfect person in the relationship, and the why am I reading comments? I'm not trying to read comments right now, right? Some people want that perfect person in their life so that they can now feel like I have what I want, and so now my life can get better.
Almost like feed off the other person rather than the other person.
Yeah. And as opposed to, let me see how I could put something like, no, you might not really have the world to put on the table. You might not have money. I'm talking from a perspective, right? Might not have money. Might not necessarily charm. Next year have a little pecs, a little handy muscles, whatever. You might not all the perfect things, but I find the biggest thing I could offer is Jesus Christ, boy. And I think, but she said that's one of the things that made her attracted to me, right? How I used to worship the Lord and that kind of thing, right? So in going into my relationship, I had to say what I'm offering is the things of God. Now, I haven't been, and I don't think I ever will be, the perfect person in that way, but I've made myself available in that way. I don't know if I'm making sense. You know what I mean? I'm not waiting for her to be the person to do everything, but I'm also offering things now, boy. And I think people kind of waiting and define relationships supposed to be working in my favor. So I'm just relax here and see who I can get to come my way. No, you have to put in real work. A relationship is real work, but before we even get married, Kyle, I had to do real things, boy. I don't know if she would agree, boy, but I had to do real things. I had to go back not every night, but all you would have tell me, I mean, I had to stay up certain times talking. She going away in the next country. Right? She dealing with things with her family. You know what I mean? And you had to offer something. You can't just want everything to work in your way. I think that is destroy relationships the most. You just being selfish. So guys, think about being a little more selfless and see how you could assist the person. How you can be there for the person. How you could, not so that you could get back something, because this might be a little deep here, but people is do good things to people so they could get back something good in return. You know? I used to be like that, right? About a KFC.
Yeah.
Right?
The man even say a little TGI or something. He said a little KFC.
Right? With the movies, buy a little popcorn and soft drink. Right? You know what I mean? And so my whole intention is why I could get back from this person now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So be a little selfless in your relationship. And well, obviously Jesus Christ, right? You're going to be a real big part of your relationship and thing. And yeah.
Nice. Hey guys, we want to thank you all for coming on the show and sharing your stories and everybody who came on before. I don't know if Mark and Eva have anything, any comments. Did you answer some of the questions, which was like, the strategy. Everybody wanted to know that strategy. Alberto's asked some kind of question. I don't know. I really don't know if he typed that properly. I don't know what it was.
Mark interpreted.
Yeah, he was asking if having things in common is important. That was one that I saw. He asked.
I think that's the same question you're talking about, right, Kyle?
I don't know. I really can't remember it. I just know it was written kind of weird. As couples, does having things in common important? I really do.
In common.
I think in common. Okay. Autocorrect or something. Yeah. What do you think, Marlon and Lifa?
I would say yes, but you can't build a relationship on that now, boy. That is just my whole. I can really expand on that, but as long as you can't build a relationship on, we have these things in common. Right. Because other than that, you have emotions, you're going to get your feelings hurt, and then I'm going to matter, boy.
You study more in common.
Yeah. So, yes, it's important, but don't build a relationship on that.
Okay. But I would just ask Marlon. I would say, Marlon, you was ready before you said I do, and is what marriage is now? Like, is it anything that you expected?
Right now, you realize, Lifa, we're not taking it personal. I know Marlon for a long while, and you realize he's a convo killer, right? He just shaking his head, like, That's his way of putting a smiley face. He's just do the little eyes. You put a big question, right? You just put eyes watching, like,
Yeah.
You really need to get to know people. Huh? You and Marlon. Yeah.
Mark, I would say I think I've accepted that nobody is ready for marriage.
Yeah.
Because I never experienced it unless you was in some kind of common law, you know what I mean? Some kind of thing. In the world, wherever it is right, you might have a little understanding. But when you come to the point where this thing is not about you, it's on a next level, buddy. So I would say, no, I wasn't ready.
What about you, Lifa?
I feel like I would say I was. I thought I was, but only because my mindset towards marriage was just, one and done. I just made a choice, and with that choice was the responsibility that, no matter come what may, I'm sticking it out. So in that regard, I think I was ready. But in terms of the day-to-day, oh boy. Sometimes it's a little challenging. But
just today.
About 4 hours before this call, in aliens on this call tonight.
But I bought some ice cream, guys. And I apologize. Yeah. Buy ice cream and I apologize.
I think everybody wants to know if you went down on your feet and touch your feet. You went down on your knees and touch your feet.
Yeah,
not this time.
Not this time. Okay. Anyhow, thanks guys for coming on this stream. You all we enjoyed hearing your stories, and I hope you encourage people to really think outside the box and realize that it'll be a little selfless. And there's when it comes to, like you're saying, being ready, there's some things at least you could at least try to adjust from now. When it comes to like your motives, or even like Lifa shared some great advice. That is like about trying to do something as a young lady. Some men clueless, and some men. It's not that they try to be clueless. That they sometimes some men just. I'll be honest, right? I realize a common thing with a lot of Christians is when there's unsafe, they think now that they're safe, there are certain things they can't do because they feel they're doing some kind of sin or they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Or like even just talking to somebody, they feel like something wrong for doing that, or and sometimes it's really hinder them from even stepping out of the box and really trying to get to know somebody, So thanks for the little advice, guys. Yeah, you all have a good night. And Marlon, you take it easy, right?
That was your turn, Kyle.
Yeah, man, that's not my turn. But Marlon, I encourage you to play the bass guitar because that's what the girl attracted to. So, yeah.
Amen. Amen.
All right, well, let's take it easy, way.
Good night.
Yeah, so Mark and Eva, you all close off the show, man. You all do a little thing.
Yeah.
All right. Mark, anything you want to add?
Well, I was just going to say, like the first night when me and Eva was married, and like she on the bed sleeping, and I watching her. It dawned on me. It dawned on me. I say, no, it's not like that.
Because you say on the night when we married,
no, I say, well, wait, night dawn on me that whatever I do in life now gonna affect you. If it's sin in my life, if it's blessings, I just knew that my life is like in a sense connected to you, like it's no longer my own, then I'm not living for myself. But what I do also affects you. And even though, because in the beginning I was a little overwhelmed when I was married, I was like, I really do this, what life gonna be like? I had different thoughts in my mind, but one thing I did say is I gonna have to be ready to love, because they was kind of talking if it have a soulmate or somebody destined for you or not. I wouldn't necessarily say so, but I believe God will have our opinion, because God knows you and God knows the person you thinking of getting married, and God knows every single person alive on the earth, right? And He know the person that will suit you best, the person that could work with you best. Now you could marry anybody and you could fight, and it could be a struggle, it could work, or it could be a blessing, but you could also seek God for His opinion. But I believe any marriage could work in Christ once you choose to love that person. And because why I believe this break up marriages, because I've talked to people who are going through issues in marriage and they're thinking about leaving their wife and different things like that, because they're seeing qualities in other people now that they're not seeing in their wife, and they're saying, but this woman could treat me better. But why realize being married is you could always probably find somebody. You could probably find somebody that would treat you better than me and gel with you better than me, and vice versa. But you choose me and I choose you, and even though we might have issues between each other, we choosing to forgive each other and to love each other and to let go of it. And that's why I believe this keep the marriage going. Now you use wisdom. You ain't trying to always stress out your wife and do different things. But I would just say that in the end, it's a choice. And being married really taught me in a different dimension the love of God, because God relates us as His bride, and Jesus chooses us. And we just do all kind of wrong thing. Even before, when we were God's enemy, the Bible said that He loved us and died for us, right? And God has forgiven us over and over and over again. And I would say in a marriage, you're going to have to forgive over and over and over again. But you have the love of God in you that can help you to really go through it and really survive the marriage, and not only survive, but thrive and to stay in love, because God in love with us in a passionate way, because He does see something beautiful in us, and He places value in us through His Holy Spirit. And I believe in Christ, if you have a wife that's especially is a believer, a husband that's a believer in God, seeking God, and he have His God Holy Spirit living in him, it's impossible for him not to have good qualities in him because of Christ living in that person. Yeah. So that's just why I wanted to share on that.
Yeah, indeed. And something that I was thinking about while Mark was talking is, and even looking at these every couple, you would realize that we all more or less at the same place, meaning we married, that's because that's what the show is. How you know the person was you want. But you realize that everybody had a different story, a different way they got to where they are now. And it's important. I think because I think a lot of times people compare themselves or their relationships to other person's relationships or what they might see, whether it be movies or social media, whatever the case is. I think it's really important to not compare the relationship you have or the person that you're with to somebody else, and to truly work with that person and to love that person unconditionally. And that's basically what Mark was saying as well, to truly love the person unconditionally, and your marriage will be beautiful. I can guarantee you your marriage will be beautiful. And also, a lot of people have terrible things to say about marriage, like especially if you're young and you're getting married. I had a lot of people tell me these things when while I was going to work, and people saw one that I was engaged, mainly customers. They would say, you're going to get married, and a lot of negative things, and it shows you. I believe that 99% or 100% of those people were people in the world, and it really shows you what a marriage based on God, with God as your foundation, how different it will cause the entire marriage, the entire life to be like. I guarantee you, a marriage grounded in God is completely different. So a marriage as in the world it's completely different. It's absolutely different. Even working out issues, every single aspect of your marriage is different when you have God in it, and it's beautiful, of course, when you have God in your marriage. So I really want to encourage everybody here, if you're married, maybe you have issues, maybe you're struggling with certain things, to really trust God and pray and help and ask God to help you to see the person you once saw them. If you realize that you're in a place where you are separate places, because marriage really is a beautiful thing, and is not something that you should just give up on. And don't listen to the things that people say about marriage being terrible. Yes, you work at it. Yes, there will be disagreements. It's not going to be a bed of roses all the time, but it's a blessing. For me personally, Mark is a blessing to my life. And nothing, whether we fight, whether we argue, whether we disagree, whether he wants something and I want something else, at the end of it all, I would always say, regardless of all those things, regardless of any issues, any disagreements, I would always feel like Mark is a blessing to my life, and I thank God every day for Mark in my life. Yeah.
I just wanted to just real quick as you was talking, the difference I would say in marriage for somebody that's not a believer in God and believers is you will tend to just be accountable to yourself. If you don't believe in God, you're judging marriage based on is she meeting my needs? Is she doing different things? And if you're feeling satisfied or not, they will have an element of, fleshly desires to it. But when you're married in Christ, you have an accountability aspect to the marriage. The Bible says a threefold cord is not easily broken. So you would tend to just see me and Eva married, but it's not me and her alone. We married to God. God is an active part of the marriage, and I am also accountable to God. So if a temptation come or something come now, right, I know to myself that I am a man that fear God, and I will think twice before I do certain things, knowing how it's going to affect God. Because I fear God, and also because I love God, and also I know how much God loves my wife. I would think about how is God going to feel about what I am going to do. So there's that element when you're in Christ, that you have accountability to God, but also God is an enabler. Through His Holy Spirit, He gives you grace to overcome temptations and sin, and He gives you grace to overcome sin and to be the person that He has called you to be. You cannot, a normal man will watch other women and find them attractive, and think Christians too. But God will help you to crucify your flesh and crucify certain sinful desires. We have this advantage in Christ that you don't have if you don't have a relationship with God. Yeah. So I just want to share that very quickly.
And guys, always look for ways to be a blessing to your spouse as well, right? Don't necessarily always look for what they are doing for you, but look for ways that you can be a blessing to you. Always have that desire to pour into your spouse's life, and well, obviously vice versa. And obviously, in the end of it, you all will just both be pouring into each other, yeah? All right, we real talk there. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us. We always love having every one of you. We are here every other Saturday at 7:30 p.m. guys. I encourage all of you, anybody who is here for the first time, welcome, and make sure and share the stream with someone else. For our next show, remember to subscribe on YouTube. Remember to click on the notification so that every time we go live, you all are here with us, because we really love having you all. We love interacting with you all. We love hearing from you all. It's always awesome being here with all of you. And my final, no, Nika, you can't win a voucher. My final giveaway tonight will go. I know it had some comments, but I know the show, it was based on what was happening in the moment. And I don't want to keep you all too much longer. So guys, again, thanks for all of your comments. Thanks for being here with us. Thanks for sharing your Saturday night with us. And we look forward to sharing the other Saturday nights with you as well. Remember, the next time you're here, make sure and bring somebody along. If you feel like you want to share this with somebody because it blessed somebody's life, feel free to do that. All of our shows are on our page, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel. Feel free to share it. Feel free to look over whatever the case is, all right? Just letting you all know. Anything else I need to highlight before I do the giveaway? Because once I do the giveaway, I'm really going. Yeah?
We just want to check and see if anybody liked Kwasi's post.
Yeah.
We'll do that at the end.
Yeah. Guys, again, it was awesome having all of you. We love all of you. Thank you all for being here. And finally, my final giveaway tonight was to Leafy Greens. I feel like I was
yeah, well, she learned how to pray from Marlon. Really intercede and
I feel like she
made a request.
Yeah, she definitely was. She commented in between them, but you know, she made sure that I was aware that she wanted that giveaway from since the last show. So Lifa, congratulations to you. You finally won a giveaway, and congratulations to everybody else that won tonight. I think it was Aaliyah, Lifa,
Chris's mother-in-law,
and Mrs. Seeley, correct. Guys, have an awesome night. We look forward to seeing you in the next show. If you like what you saw here tonight, remember to like our pages. All right. Bye. Good night, everyone.